What's going on, y'all? So this video that I'm gonna make is not gonna have many cuts like I've done with my previous content. Actually, this may be a video that you guys have been waiting for. This video, I'm going to read the first excerpt from the first chapter of my book. I'm going to try to do this as smooth and as evenly paced as possible. I'm probably going to do this in bits and pieces up to the third chapter, reading the third chapter, as far as content for you guys, getting you... I'm sorry, something distracted me. I just saw a hawk fly. Oh my gosh. Oh, he's beautiful. Forgive me, but that was dope. Anyway, there's I got distracted. So easily distracted. It's a beautiful bird. It's perched right over there. Anyway, up to chapter 3, I'm going to start reading excerpts from my book as content for you guys to kind of show you the flow of my book and give you a little teaser of what's to come. So without too much more introduction and hopefully no more distractions, I'm going to go ahead and get into it. Chapter 1, Written in Gemstone. There is no shortage of stories lost in history, stories that generations of people refuse to share, stories that are forgotten by the few who witnessed, and stories that are forbidden to be told by those in power. Fortunately, the series of events that led to today's world are forever etched in history, a chain of interactions that began nearly 8 centuries ago. This land wasn't always ruled by established kingdoms and governed borders. There was a time when the mountains had no one to claim them, a time when the rivers became reservoirs to anyone and anything that happened upon their banks. The earth was traversed by tribes, nomadic gatherings of individuals who shared common goals and interests. Tribes would merge with others, defect from an existing one, be created by the whim of an individual, or even be decimated without a trace. Very few tribes that existed had the level of reputation, influence, and structure you would see in a more advanced society. One such tribe was the Jati. The Jati were considered a mobile fortress, a self-sustainable force that no other tribe could rival. Largely due to the esteemed leadership of their patriarch Malme, the tribe was respected and feared for their combat, hunting, and agricultural skills. The forefront of their strength and security was Malme's son, later to be known as one of the 5 great spirits, Amon. A young and exceptionally strong hunter-warrior whose strength and perseverance were second to none. Described as a soldier who stood tall with muscles of stone, almond eyes, and long hair that flowed like a black river. He was always a respected and revered man. However, that impression was nothing in comparison to the legend he became, the legend that changed the course of our world's history. This story began when Malme led the Jati to a luscious region with an overabundance of resources. The Jati had stumbled upon nature's treasure chest, and Malme made a decision that would completely transform the tribe's way of life. He decided the tribe would permanently settle within this rare oasis. There had been lands that were also saturated with life and opportunity, however they paled in comparison. During the height of the winter months of their first year in their new residence, an alarming number of members within the tribe fell ill. None of their known medical practices were working, and Malme was soon driven into a difficult scenario, needing to choose the proper course of action for the future of his people. In a desperate attempt to find a cure for this illness, or anything that would help, as one of the handful of healthy adults left, Amon set out on a search to find a remedy with nothing but winter garments, hunting knife, a handful of dry meat, and a pelted sack. After half a day's travel, as the first night of Amon's journey grew dark and violently windy, he stumbled into a hidden cave where he took shelter for the night, picking up scattered branches at the entrance and making a pile. Without the wind constantly ripping away, he was able to build a fire. After Amon ate and rested a bit, he ventured deep into the cave, discovering a large, strange, blood-red gemstone. It was beautiful, smooth and iridescent in the fire's light. Amon thought the women in the village could use it to make jewelry to trade or to keep for themselves. He thought it was best to stow this gemstone away and bring it back with him. Immediately after grabbing the apple-sized gemstone, something happened. It's said that Amon felt a sudden surge of energy and adrenaline rush into his body, so much so that it felt as if his heart would burst out of his chest. The shock of this surge had rendered his muscles so tense he couldn't release his grip, and Amon collapsed onto the cold, flat ground of the cave. Amon eventually regained consciousness, and as he awoke, Everything about his environment felt different to him. Despite the fire he had built going out, the cave seemed to have stayed warm enough. The air felt unnaturally fresh and calm, as if there was no air at all, yet still being able to breathe. As light filled the cave after reigniting the fire, Amon took a closer look at the walls and ceiling, realizing that this red gemstone enveloped the entire cave, as if the cave itself was made of it. And as he took a step forward, he became puzzled. His body felt light, too light, as if he weighed no more than a handful of feathers. He felt refreshed. No, he was more than refreshed. He felt as if his body never went through a day of hard labor or training. As much as he enjoyed this feeling, it was soon followed by fear and worry. He sprinted towards the cave entrance, and it was still mostly dark outside, but the sun's light began to creep up on the horizon. Amon guessed he had slept on the floor the entire night. Being a little concerned about how long he was out for, he exited the cave quickly and without thinking took the mysterious red gemstone with him. The moment he grabbed the gemstone and headed for the cave, he felt that same instant rush of energy as before. However, it was not as violent and as crippling as when he first held it. In fact, this new surge of energy he experienced brought a sense of power he had never felt before. The night's darkness still enveloped the land, with cold winds bombarding everything they touched. Only this time, Amon felt no resistance from the wind. The next difference Amon noticed about himself came when he hurled a boulder in his path. As soon as Amon's feet left the ground, the wind suddenly changed direction, carrying with it a tremendous updraft. Normally, Amon could clear just over 20 feet of distance in a running bound. On this night, as Amon's feet hit the ground, nearly injuring himself in the force of his awkward landing, he realized he had cleared nearly 70 feet in a single leap. When his feet hit the ground, he had to roll into the landing, sitting for a quick moment with a variety of emotions running through him: surprise, confusion, and angst. Before he was overcome with questions he knew he couldn't answer yet, he returned his attention to making his way back to the village. He cut through the terrain like a gazelle running through flat grasslands on a spring afternoon. What was originally half a day escapade had become an hour-long dash for him. And even more surprisingly, he found himself free of fatigue with no shortness of breath once he arrived at the village. Upon arrival, the first to greet Amon was Malmay himself. As soon as Malmay laid eyes on him, he embraced Amon, nearly bringing himself to tears. Upon seeing his father's reaction, another wave of confusion plagued Amon. After a brief discussion with his father, it was then revealed that Amon had been gone for 5 nights. He staggered, struggling to grasp the weight of what was said, once again flooded with intense concern for the people of the Jati. As he tried to process this information, he ran into the heart of the village, towards the tents designated as shelter for the sick. That's my little excerpt for today, and I will keep going until chapter 1 is finished. And I know it's a quick little excerpt, and I know there's not too much to go on yet, but I hope you guys enjoyed that quick reading of, I guess, the first third or so of the first chapter. And let me know what you guys think so far. Thank you.